Thank you so much to you, Mother Makaveli, from the hit show Legendary on HBO Max, Jada the Great. Thank you so much for coming onto my platform, babe.
Yo, thank you for having me. This is so. First of all, you look amazing right now. These
you.
The girls are pushed up and they just like giving me a kiss. And I just love that.
Thank you. And you are looking so fabulous and gorgeous like you always are. Yo. So let's just dive right up into this. I have a lot of subscriber questions that they wanted to ask you, but of course I'm going to ask you some of my questions. And yes, so let's get right into this interview. How did the House of Makaveli become on Legendary?
So the House of Makaveli actually came on to Legendary. We were actually supposed to be on season 2, but I wasn't fully prepared for the last season. You know what I mean? I needed to, get back in the gym and free myself up from work and stuff like that to take the time off. And this was kind of the right time. We had to replace two of our original members, and the people that the team that we ended up with just worked for me.
Right.
So we all kind of did our interview process. We all kind of gave a similar story about Boogie and what he meant to us as a father and as a leader, and we kind of. I know I personally expressed like my dreams, like me wanting to, rap and sing and do music other than, just performance on stage. And I felt like that was kind of gravitational. So they asked us to come.
Okay. Sounds good. And then when you speaking about, you had to replace some members for you and your experience, how did that process go for you guys? Did you give a list of a certain amount of members in your house and they narrowed it down for you guys?
So some members or some teams did have select members. Like they gave you, this is our 5. This is the specific. We're not, these are clear to go. These are COVID free, issue free, and these are ready to go. However, I wasn't in charge of like the announcement of it. So like it was just put into the house page, right? So that meant anyone from the House of Makaveli that felt that they were up to the challenge could apply. And then they helped us narrow it down by who was available, who had the most, compelling stories, who had sufficient enough, physical ability, and who mentally and physically would be able to be there for 10 weeks possibly.
Right. And also, do they give like a background check for you guys to get approved? Because a lot of people don't understand that does happen. So do you guys actually go through that as well?
Yes, we went through an actually extensive background check and review process. But if you've been a good person, you don't really have but a ticket or something,
right.
So it's ready for that. However, I did from some of the other teams. This is not anything that have a Mecca, but someone had like a small petty warrant for like a jump in the turnstile or something like that. And they, gave them time to go like pay the ticket off and and you know what I mean, like get that situated before they came over. And I really think that's it's in the non-disclosure agreements in the beginning. You know what I mean? Right. You can't really share too much about it, and you have to you just have to like if they're gonna bring you across state lines, and then you have to be like legally accountable for you. You know what I mean? And like a clean record or the willingness to clean your record yourself helps that process along.
Okay. So now let's get into the juicier parts.
Okay.
Episode 6, Mission Impossible Ball. Makaveli eliminates Alpha Omega. What were you feeling and thoughts when you won the redemption battle?
So when we battled the Alphas Omega first, let's say this, right? The team of Alpha Omegas were professional, dancers. They have been doing modern ballet, contemporary, and other sorts of dances for years beyond this. So they aesthetically seemed to be a better team. Their performances were a little bit stronger. However, we, in the midst of that heart and in that moment, showed and proved why we deserve to be there. And that kind of like really meant the absolute world to us. Even though I will say this, now every time we stayed, it was like, oh God, another week another stress, another, you know what I mean? Another week of voguing until 2 a.m. in the morning and getting up for 6 a.m. practices. You know, it's the constant stress and pressure and constant changing of schedules.
Yeah.
It was all a bit, you know, overwhelming. However, it was fun and it was exhilarating. And it's like an atmosphere unlike anyone else or unlike any other. And I don't know, some people are able to thrive and some people, you know, I'm emotional, but I will cry as I'm like voguing the fuck down.
Right. But that comes from the passion, right?
But that comes from the heart and passion. And that's what I gave in that battle, really. Like, I knew that my boys were tired of, you know, fighting and tired of being disrespected and tired of feeling, you know, not worth anything. And I just stood out there and was like, you know what, I'm fighting tonight. Fuck it.
Let's get into our subscriber questions because you have a whole lot of them that I think that will clear a lot of stuff up. So the first subscriber wanted to ask you, I want to know what the situation with Alpha Omega was and why everyone was happy to see them go and see Makaveli stay despite the track record. I want to get your honest and opinions about that situation.
Well, first, now let's all think back to episode 5, right? Where the Alpha Omegas and the LaBeijas battle. Reynaldo and Zenith. And not only were we all rooting for LaBeija, behind the scenes, the Alpha Omegas were kind of cold and kind of standoffish. And even though, you know, to some of those, you know, people that you know, they still speak and they still respect and stuff like that. But a lot of like other people that look up to, say, you know, a legend, they want you to, you know, be a little more personable, be a little more likable, be a little more sociable. And not saying that they were like, you know, being rude or, you know, being stuck up or anything like that, but they were to themselves. They were strictly about business. And, you know, as I was looking at them, I kind of was like, that's really the way we should all be. We should all be focused on the competition, not the fact that, you know, we're all family here.
Right.
So, you know, behind the scenes, when we saw Zenith, and then Zenith carried for the battle. Let's just say that. Zenith carried. He had my attention. He had the whole crowd, like everybody in the back room. He had our entire attention, our hearts and our throats in a chokehold, right? And then it was just so disappointing because we knew that they were going to let Reynaldo win based on the cleanliness and the perfection and the legendary vogue that is Reynaldo. And we knew it wasn't fair, and Zenith still knew it wasn't fair himself and still was going to give his all. And when he did not win, we felt a little down and disappointed. So the final week, the Alphas Omegas got exactly what they just dished out. So it was kind of like a moment of relief, kind of like a moment of triumph, you know what I mean? Specifically for us to still be in the show, but for, you know, for us as a cast to like feel at ease with each other, you know what I mean? The money ball's next, so, you know, we all have at least 2 more weeks to go. We can all, you know, breathe easy and feel comfortable and finally just have fun with it, you know?
Next subscriber wanted to ask you, how does Jada feel as a mother when Law Roach embarrassed her and her children on the stage by singing Amazing Grace with the "I just sang at your funeral" comment, along with Law getting into it with Mara, "You want to meet me outside"? Also, was anything edited out of those scenes?
Okay, first I want to say yes, a lot was edited out of those scenes.
Right. Okay.
Those comments and those judges, like those, they were much longer than what the final cut revealed.
Okay.
So about the funeral, right?
Yes.
I felt like it was a personal, I felt like it was a personal dig because they know that I have, you know, this trigger with my father literally just passing this last year, you know what I mean? And like every time that they brought up his name, every time they did something funeral like or death like, or they anytime that they made a sort of key or reference to that, I felt disrespected and it hit me in my heart. And my boys, they knew that. They could hear me like, why would they bring up Boogie at this moment? Wow, why would they even say that, right? So they decided to stand up for me and for Daddy. and for our name. Because this is cute for TV, but in real ballroom law, you have never been to a ball. We don't see you at the balls. You don't walk nothing. You're not here. You honestly do not qualify as a ballroom judge. TV, yes. You know what I mean? The TV, the speculation, the fashion, the drama, all of that. You've seen two seasons worth already. Yes, you're great with that. But as far as real ballroom and what we've spent our lives doing, you have no idea what it took to do that. And you also have no idea what it took like to change up a choreo in 4 hours because someone sprained an ankle, or to change, a choreo from 5 people to 4 people to back to 5 people to back to 4 people again because somebody caught COVID. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of always a trigger of mine personally. And my boys, they knew that and they were very defensive about it. But at the end, right? So like after all of that, because I know after the storm, there is always light. That fight and that determination and that like hunger and that like self-worth that we showed, made law respect us.
Yeah.
He started to vote and fight for us into the very end. So honestly, sometimes things are rough in the beginning, but like it worked out for the best a little bit, I guess. Like after law says all of that, I heard you want to catch me outside and all this bitch, that, and the third. He winks at Mara.
Okay.
Which lets me know that this is just for TV.
Got you. Okay.
So I said, son, did you see this? He's playing with you. He's tempting you. He's getting this rise out of you for TV. You know they're going to talk about this in the interviews. So why don't you stop? Don't embarrass us no further. Let him have his vote and go about it. And then after that, he's going to say, well, with that being said, my vote goes to House of Makaveli.
Right. But you know what? At the end of the day, with all of that, it really was good TV. And you guys will be a clip that would kind of go on if there are future seasons of Legendary, of Meet Me Outside. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good clip. Shout outs to Mara, bitch. You did that. Okay.
Yes.
I was here for it.
Shout out to my friends.
Okay. I was here for it, Mara. Next subscriber wanted to ask you, were the other houses, Yamamoto, Revlon, and Juicy Couture in particular, nice and cordial towards y'all despite the track record?
So the thing about a lot of them is that they a lot of the members of each house are family of us. Like me personally, Devo is my husband, my brother. The Revlons, I was a Revlon for many years. All of the Revlons from Paris are my beloved family. Like my sister Aoki, she was a Revlon with us. She's now the mother of her own house. Linda is my nephew. The Juicy's, Brooklyn is my niece, which one day, really a long time ago, I looked at her and I was like, girl, you are going to take over the world. And now she really is. And I'm so, so proud of her. Kamaya and I have always been considered rivals, but we're secretly sisters. And I felt very, very, very comfortable with them. And they also felt comfortable with us. And behind the scenes, the comments that was said to our faces was, okay, well, they're not worried about us performance-wise or Superior House-wise, but they do not want to catch us in the bottom. We sent home half of the cast. It was like, we're not trying to, no, listen. I remember actually one conversation, it was Jelani with LaBeija, the LaBeijas. They were still here. And somebody was like, girl, y'all better pick it up. Y'all better pick these effects up before y'all ended up in the bottom. Jelani said, end up with Jada kids? I'm about to break my neck or something. I'm about to do something for real.
Right. Out of all the Makaveli performances you guys did, which one was your favorite and which one were you dreading?
So the first one is the one that I was dreading because in my mind, the choreo was very simple and it just seemed like we couldn't catch it, right? And then two, so in the initial, getting there to Los Angeles and checking in and having our first look, we kind of had an issue with the first looks. we wanted to come as fashion high couture cats. And that's why we were like fully covered head to toe. And like I was supposed to have whiskers and like diamond collars and you know what I mean? Like and nails and prosthetics and you know what I mean? But they said, no, you can't do cats. Cats will be a theme of episode 2. So you have to pick something else. And so like we asked the designer to like try to change it, but it was kind of too late. Like 4 of them were already in the mail and on the way to us. Oh, so I'm like, okay, so, you know, luckily we did have a legendary and their amazing wardrobe team to, you know, help make things fit and, you know, give us a better directive and a different edge on the cat suits.
Okay.
My favorite.
Okay.
Strangely enough, is the fairy tale ball performance.
Really? Okay, yeah.
I'll explain why. Because in my mind, I wasn't paying attention to, you know, how much I was pushing my own boundaries every week, right? And one day, like after like a rehearsal, and I look at the video, and I go, wait a minute. Not only am I like voguing as if motherly and now and giving camp and showing you the story, I'm also about to rap and be the star that I love, I love to be, that I wish I could be so bad. And then I'm about to end it with a sickening young Jada dip. Hello, this is the me that they're looking for. And if they don't like this, then I don't know what they're gonna love. Okay. And they did.
So I just want to stop you right there when you said what you want to be so bad, the rap star. You are the rap star. Don't ever second guess yourself. You are.
Thank you.
And you're just gonna heighten your life with it. Okay? So that's what I want to just always say. Because I am. You know, that's what it is.
I am that rap bitch.
That's right. That's right, girl. That's right.
Our house, like in real life, you know, they were kind of experiencing the journey with us too. They was flying with us. They were, you know, struggling with us. And they finally had that performance that was just like they could be so proud of and they could, you know, revel in. So, and I got to do more than just little old Jada. So I was very, very, very happy about that performance.
And it showed, and I think it just for shows like this, it really allows every contestant, as well as the mothers and fathers of these houses, to really grow and to really kind of step out of their box of what their categories are in the actual ballroom scene. And it showed, Jada. It really did. And it allowed us to see even your talent that you are so good at. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, honestly.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So the thing about it is that the performances didn't go as like, you know, great as planned, but I actually have been like making the music since like episode 3, like Hellraiser, and then Do You Want to Shag Me, and then The Fairy Tale, and then we did Siren. And it was kind of like a musical journey, because at the end, like by the time I got to Siren, I was fully like singing. I was fully remixing a classic Selvin chant. I was rapping. I was like throwing shade to all the bitches that we sent home. Like, I was living my life. I was living my moment. And actually, when I looked at the clips and I saw me coming out of the shell, I was like, bitch.
You look good, bitch. You look good, bitch. You said, all right. You said, Ariel, move over, bitch. That's right. That's right. You look good.
I really enjoyed that.
You look good. And then speaking about your looks and your props, what was the time frame of everything? Did they give you a certain amount of hours, days? Like, what was it?
So every day is filled with something, right? They have at first, in the beginning of the process, it was like one ball every week, right? But the time started to go, you know, less, or the time that we had to shoot started to dwindle as the composition progressed. So with the less amount of people, the less time we get to do, you know, these other little filmings or these other little practices or these other little luxuries that we used to have. The process itself, it just started to get more and more intense, I guess. But however, now let me say this though. Thinking of a production, like head to toe, like what to wear, how I'm going to sound, how, you know, the song is going to hit, how the performance is going to hit, what little moves I'm going to do into it, that all, you know what I mean, that it did take a week, but it's an atmosphere unlike anything I've experienced. Like when I get signed to a record label, that's the type of work I expect. We're gonna have to like keep it moving on the clockwork. But eventually, like around like week 5 or 6, it was like 2 balls a week. Like it would be one on Tuesday and then one on Friday, and then we probably have like Sunday to rest. But we couldn't even do that then because we was trying to figure out the next performance.
Next comment that one of my subscribers has for you was, I would like to know what were your personal highs and lows of the season, not exclusive to the performances and critiques. And without bias, does she agree that the performances may have lacked to some? Processing teams after team in the redemption battles validate their inclusion in the competition.
So actually, like my personal lows, honestly, there were like 3 big major moments that was like a moment that I almost could not handle, right? So it was the Animal Queendom Ball, which they tried to put me in some type of slave girl dress with these shackles and this big buffy material. And but the designers had to get, used to the idea that I'm like a voguing mother. I'm not going to be like here just to do face and just to be pretty and just to, Another big low is like the horror ball, right? So I have a thing with like horror movies. My big brother has a thing with horror movies and horror things, and I really, really enjoy doing like spooky drag is what I call it.
Right? Yeah.
Because like that's me getting up in spooky drags, whatever. And geese, yeah. And I put so much effort and so much thought into the character of that. You know what I mean? I had to they wanted us to be Hellraiser without being Hellraiser. So I kind of had to like come up with some type of queen, you know what I mean? Some type of darkly demented fashion, you know what I mean, type of monster, which is where the one heel and one flat boot idea came from.
Gotcha. And
I myself personally did not do the performance the justice that I had been doing it the days prior in practice. Like it didn't translate, and I was so nervous and I was so in my head, and like my hands are world renowned. That's not what I do. That's not what it's not the magnitude that my hands could reach, you know what I mean? Right. And that was like a really, really bad low for me.
Okay.
And then the last one. A fairy tale ball.
Okay.
I had asked them to stop putting me in leather.
Oh, it's constricting.
It's hot. It's constricting. It's shaping.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I get sweaty to it, and then they have to do this weird thing where they have to like come lube up the leather so it's like shiny for the stage. And I remember specifically asking, and I love Andre Down. He was one of like the creative directors on board with the fashion team. And I'm like, I took him on to the side. I'm like, Andre, I really I begged that it would not be leather again. And he said, well, babe, all we had is leather.
Damn.
So I'm like, I'm going to do it for you. But please, I'm going to carry today. Please just make me something that's not leather. Like, that was one of the biggest things. Like the leather was like, I had these scars from the queen, it's like a really big scar under my arm. There's 2 of them, and that's from that metal corset, that metal bodice piece, and the leather that was under that choker. They were like cutting me in 2 different places while I was voguing, and I was so sick of the cutting and the chafing and the issues, and I'm still having I had to go to the doctor and have like a dermatologist look at it and everything. I'm still in recovery from that, which is crazy.
Wow, that is crazy. Does she agree that the performances may have lacked to some?
I do. Okay. Now, I will say that there are a lot of times that we would drill in practice. I mean, we do like 50 times, right? And you think that you practice makes perfect, but for some reason, as I'm seeing now in the clips, there were still moments where, some of us would, get lost and start going rogue and start, trying to figure out what to do in the next moment. And And I noticed that, and I started to notice that, like, even in the videos while we were recording. And I'm like, maybe we should try something else. Maybe we should, like, start just doing some individual moments so that you could have the freedom to do what you want to do. Because obviously, being choreo the whole way through is not working. You know what I mean? It's not, adding any value. So the people love the raw energy that is Vogue. Mm-hmm. They love the raw energy that is the real Vogue that we give. So let's do that. And by the time we start to get to that performance, and it was almost time to leave.
Right. And then lastly, they wanted to say, processing team after team in the redemption battles validate their inclusion in the competition.
So yes, that I do feel that we showed our hearts. You know what I mean? We showed you that, like, we was really, really determined. We knew that we had issues. We knew that we had, like, weaknesses and, things that we weren't as strong or confident in. But we, tried every freaking week. And anytime that, it was time to... The thing about the battle process is, and I really thank God for this, that wasn't something that was scripted, or that wasn't something that, like, I discussed with my boys, right?
Right.
Like, anytime I picked somebody to battle to save us, it was based off of my heart and based off of the moment and who I felt was really ready to fight for us that night. And it did not lead me wrong until we got to episode 8.
Episode 8. Got you. And lastly, they did want to just say, it's not a question. Side note, I love her stepping up when she heard Femme Queen in the last battle, despite the results. Mama gives Battle Cat, okay? So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, they tried to bait me emotionally.
Okay.
And that is the only time that I did not use that same method, that whim of choice. I should have continued that whim of choice and chose one of my boys. But when she said Femme Queen performance, I felt like she was personally taking a microphone and a giant finger and a giant spotlight and saying, Femme Queen, bitch, get out here.
Yeah. And this, which leads me to my next question. Jada is so beautiful. Does she feel like they would have stayed longer if she sent Mara out to battle instead? Was she upset when Raja walked off the stage?
I was very upset. Sometimes, people aren't as mature or as professional as everyone else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I know that, like, when it's the end, you just let them, let them say what they're going to say so we can get this over with and let's, go. Like, it's time.
Right.
And walking off and running off and not, experiencing the love that we got from the judges as we were leaving was, like, something that I feel like Raja missed out on. But I'm not too mad at him because he was in his emotions. He tried really hard. He is actually the least experienced of us. Mm-hmm. And he tried his best, despite being the least experienced. And, he pushed himself out of a lot of boundaries. And, he got in half drags and was working on TV. And this is something that, he wouldn't have done in his regular life. So, that was a little heartbreaking to him. But, I'm just not, me personally, everything happens for a reason and it happens the way it did, right? Yeah. So, we could have lasted longer, and that was my point to, make it to the top 2. But, I mean, the response that I've got from, like, people from the Instagrams, from Twitter, from Facebook, from people out in the street, from, like, people recognizing me in the village, the love, the people that saw my heart and the real, honest love that is the love that I have for my kids, that stood out. And that's all I asked for.
The other part of the question, does she feel like they would have stayed longer if she sent Mara out instead of battling?
I do feel like Mara would have gave a cleaner performance. I was supposed to send Mara out. But and I do feel like he would have gave a cleaner performance, and we probably would have stayed another week. And the single that I was pushing next week, and the whole thing was going to be filthy. Like, I was begging, I was trying so hard to stay. So yes, I do believe so. But honestly, like, at the point of top 4, right? Mm-hmm. It's only like the baddest bitches, and then the bitches that keep sending everybody home. So it's like, either we're going to, like, make it to the top 3 or top 2, or, we're going to go home soon. So it's okay.
I say the house, you say the first thing that comes to mind. First house, House of LaBeija.
Beloved.
House of Alpha Omega.
Christine.
House of Revlon.
A Mixie set.
House of Light.
Blank.
House of Yoshi Yamamoto.
Should have been a Real House.
House of Demir Versailles.
They were cheated. They got cheated. I'm sorry.
Okay. House of Juicy Couture.
Fabulous. You had to be stupid to not see what the Juices are doing. They were carrying all season.
Yeah. House of Alan Meekley.
My grandma's house. Beloved.
Yeah. Ooh, House of Ada.
That's my response.
Okay. And of course, last but not least, House of Makaveli.
Home.
You said what? Home. Okay, perfect. Love it. Now that we talked about the houses, let's get into the judges. What do you think of Keke Palmer replacing Megan Thee Stallion on Legendary?
I actually felt that Keke Palmer added a lot of value to the judges panel. She was, not only was she looking for a great performance and, some innovation, but she was looking into, your personalities, your individuality, your heart, who you are as a family. And that's so important because we don't, as, LGBT people, we don't necessarily get the recognition or the love or the attention or the appreciation that we always deserve, And even in the times of us struggling, she still could find something positive to point out before she gave us her positive or her critiques. So I was, really, really grateful for that. And behind the scenes, actually, it was a lot of times that, after, the Groovy Ball, after, Do You Want to Shag Me? She came, I saw her, ran into her, and she, embraced me, and she's so proud of us. And she's so happy, and, you know what I mean? Y'all are, keep going, keep pushing. Y'all are doing it. And, she just added a lot of value to the panel. And Meg was a little she just wanted to see some hype. She didn't really, pay attention to people individually,
Yeah.
So I appreciate Keke for being one of the new judges. She do that.
What do you say to some of the judges like Jamila that didn't think you should have stayed as long as you have?
Well, my thing with Jamila is, okay, even if this was a place, even if this was real ballroom, you don't walk balls. Mm-hmm. You're not LGBT nor gay. Mm-hmm. So you don't really know of the struggle and the real life that it is to get up on this stage and do this. Mm-hmm. More so, out of your resume, I haven't seen you do this. You're not doing this. Yeah. You're doing something like it. You're waving that tool around.
Yeah.
You're not giving me you're not giving me an album or a single or a full, headline of movie. So for her comments, it's kind of okay, thanks. It's always one person that you can't convince. There's always one person that's still just not gonna like you. So
right,
I'm okay.
And then especially for in my way of thinking, I'm thinking about the process of how this show is supposed to be done, right? So you have your main battles and you show your thing, and then they're gonna say who the bottom two is, right? And then from that point on, do you judge it on your full performance as the episode, or do you judge it from that battle on to go who's gonna stay from that bunch, from the bottom two to the next? You know what I'm saying? So when she says stuff like they've been in the bottom for this many times and it's not fair, and I'm like, what do you say to that?
Because she was thinking that way. She was thinking that way, that, she was thinking overall, which is, you're not wrong to think that way. You're not wrong to look at the team as an overall, package. Mm-hmm. But still, me personally, I like the underdog, and I like believing in people that no one else believes in. So if they're going to keep fighting, then I'm going to keep fighting for them, as I was watching myself. And that's how I felt like a lot of people and some of the other judges felt about it, that Jamila just couldn't seem to grasp, I guess.
And lastly, you know, each and every video and interview that I do with somebody on the show, I want to ask them what they want to bring into fruition. What do you want out of life? What is the next thing for you? So tell everybody.
Okay, let's say this, right? When you achieve your dreams, this is one of my dreams, right? To be on TV performing and doing the things that I do, especially for Vogue, because I've been doing it since I was 16 years old, right? Mm-hmm. But dreams never just stop there once you do it.
Yeah.
Now is the time to challenge myself to be able to like merge pop music and hip hop with ballroom. Mm. And one thing that I really want to materialize in this world, we don't have a Beyonce, we don't have a Lady Gaga, we don't have a Nicki Minaj, we don't have somebody that's from us that we can call our queen musically. Mm. And I want to be that. For us. I want to be that bitch that's going to give you the fab performances, the fab looks. I want to be that bitch that's going to let you come to the concerts and Vogue and be exactly who you are and know that I am truly from our community. I'm not just somebody that's pretending to be a Vogue girl or pretending to know about fashion so I know about ballroom. You know what I mean? I'm here from it. And that's what I'm trying to bring to my real life. I'm trying to bring back the star.
Okay.
So that's what I'm after.
Okay, so that concludes our interview. Thank you so much for coming on to my platform, babe. I totally appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for keeping it real, raw, and honest and sharing your thoughts about everything.
Yes.
I do want to just say this personally. Boogie would be so proud of you. Boogie would be so proud of you. He is looking down and saying thank you for blessing me to continuing on his legacy, and that he is so proud of to the woman that you have become. Don't do that, girl. You're gonna get me crying. And, but seriously, it's a blessing to see how you molded this together and you're continuing on and literally continue being great. Continue accomplishing everything you want to do. I hope that your music and ballroom continues to flourish, and may people watch this interview and book you as many times as you want to be just overflowing with the cup. And yes, just continue doing you, babe. Continue staying positive, continue being beautiful, and just may everything happen for you in your life, babe. And I'm fully in support. Fully in support of you.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, babe.
You must make me cry.
Yeah, I know. Don't do that, girl. I'm gonna be like, I'm emotional too, girl. I'm just like you. I'm like, don't do that. But yes, right? But yes, babe, thank you again. I'm going to list all your social medias down in the description box below. So everybody go like her, follow her, share her, all of that good stuff. And most importantly, book her. So thank you again, babe. Mwah. Bye, honey.
I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay, you guys, so that is the end of my interview with Miss Jada the Great, House Mother of Makaveli from the hit show Legendary on HBO Max. What can I say? Kind of got me choked up a little bit talking about Boogie, and just amazing to see how his legacy, what house he wanted to flourish is really flourishing in beautiful spirits like Miss Jada. So, and the children, right? So I just love to see that. It's just another branch and another branch of houses that are just going to stand the test of time, hopefully, you know. So shout outs to Miss Jada, shout outs to all the kids in the house, and you guys did an amazing job. The Battle Cats of the season, hands down, point blank, period. You guys showed up and showed out for every redemption challenge, and you guys really did that. You made us know that you deserve to be there, so congratulations to that. And Miss Jada has a new music coming out, so definitely support her within the couple of weeks coming out. So definitely check out her Instagram and her Facebook and all of her social medias. Like I said, it's going to be linked down in the description box below, so make sure you guys go check that out. Also, if you guys want to watch my full reaction and watch the full episode, definitely hit up my Patreon, which is going to be linked down in the description box below. So make sure you check that out, as well as my website where you guys can purchase some merch and support my channel out some more. Don't forget to check out my other interviews that I have with other contestants on the show. They have been quite spicy, quite cute, and quite legendary. And please give this video a thumbs up, you guys, because a thumbs up goes a very long way. And like always, life is your vision. It is whatever you make it, as long as you make it freaking fabulous. Until the next one, you guys. Bye.